Hello everyone, I am Professor Vani Kundekar. I am a finance faculty in Department of MBA, Gopte Institute of Technology. Today I will be discussing with you all on the topic personal financial planning. Okay, so we all know that financial planning is must irrespective of the careers we have chosen, the occupation we are in or the age group we belong to. Everybody has to have some basic financial understanding, especially if you are choosing your career or any professional courses. Like many of you are on the verge of completion of your degree courses and now you are choosing your career path, maybe in form of some professional courses. MBA is one among them. So now, as a student, you will have to understand the importance of choosing any career plan or any professional course, because ultimately we want to make our career which is very lucrative, which is well paid and which will help us to lead a comfortable life. So to understand that, we need to have some understanding about the financial aspects. In that regard, today we are going to talk something about your personal financial planning. So now, before going ahead, we can understand the need and importance of investment. So now when you are thinking about your financial management, investment is must. You will have to understand the basics of investment, where to invest, how to invest, how much to invest. So these are the basic things one has to understand, maybe when you are a student or maybe when you are a new joinee in any of the organization. So now when we are discussing about the importance of investment, first we will have to understand the longer life expectancy or planning for retirement. So now why do we do investment? The first thing is the life expectancy and planning for your retirement. So now maybe for 30 years you will be working, 30 to 35 years you will be working in any of the organization. So now you have to think about your retirement as well. So the early you start about your investment planning, that will help you to plan for your retirement. Then increasing rates of taxation. So now we are paying so many taxes, even the rate of taxes are increasing. To avoid the burden of taxation, we can think about investment. So definitely if you are investing in a proper channel, that will help you to reduce the tax burden. Then high interest rates. So this is also one of the reasons why investment is must. That will reduce the cost of interest rate. Then high rate of inflation. To put it simply, the inflation is a rise in the prices. So every year we see some rise in the prices of goods and services. That is nothing but what? The reason of inflation. So now when the prices of goods are continuously rising, we have to alternatively manage our finance to cope up to that increase in the level of prices. So now whenever there is high rate of inflation, proper investment will help you to cope up with the inflation rate. Larger incomes. If you have diversified income, if you have income from multiple sources, you should plan your income to put it in a proper investment or in a proper saving channel. Then availability of a complex number of investment outlets. So nowadays we have a variety of financial products and services. Many avenues are there for the investment. So now you will have to have a basic understanding of what is the capital market, what is the money market, what are the various avenues are available for the investment and which is more suitable for you for the investment. So these are basics of your investment, why we should think about investment at the first place. Next, moving on to the factors which are affecting your investment process. Uncertainty in returns dominates decision process. So when I want to invest my money in any of the investment avenue, definitely I would think about the return I'm getting from that investment. Right? So if there is no assured return, definitely I will not go for any kind of investment. So before putting your money into any of the investment avenues, you have to think about the returns. And uncertainty in return causes you to think, okay, twice about your decision of investment. So before you invest anywhere, you have to study about basic returns, basic market condition, why there is uncertainty of returns, why there is fluctuation in the return that is happening. If you have this basic understanding, you can understand where to invest and how much to invest. Future unknown and must be estimated. So why we go for the investment? This is the main reason for this. That is, future is unknown, future is uncertain. Okay, so we can take the current situation now, the COVID-19. So many stocks have crashed. Stock market is performing poorly. The prices are falling. There is no demand. There is no supply. Right? So these kind of uncertainties definitely will have impact on our financial planning and on our cash inflows. But if you have a proper investment plan at the place, you can face these future uncertainties more confidently, right? So because of this reason, we have to plan very efficiently about our investment. Foreign financial assets, opportunity to enhance return or reduce the risk. So now this is the era of globalization. You can invest in for multinational companies, international bonds also. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to decide upon invest in any of the avenues. So this is an opportunity for the investment nowadays. Quick adjustments needed to a changing environment. Now why do I think about my savings, my financial planning and about investment? Because of the dynamic environment. The environment is fastly changing, right? The uncertainties are there. Okay, we are not sure about the performance of the companies. We are not sure about the cash inflows, right? So because of these uncertainties, we should be able to adjust ourselves. We should be able to cope up with the changes that is happening in the economy. For that, you need to have a proper financial planning at the first place, right? So now we can discuss about what are the recent trends in investment, right? So before we decide upon the investment, it is must for us to study the global scenario or the Indian scenario of the investment. What is happening in the economy? What is the scope for the investment? Okay, so what is a proper time for the investment? So the economic study is must. So now here we can see in India, increase in working population, larger family incomes and consequent higher savings, right? So now if we see the Indian situation, the trend is changing, right? So the percentage of working population is increasing, family income is increasing and also savings are also increasing as a consequence of higher working population. So when the working population is increasing, definitely they want to look for an avenue for their savings and investment. So government has come with so many financial products and services. We have n number of avenues to invest, right? So currently there is a lot of happening in the financial markets in terms of instruments, in terms of financial products availability. There is a lot number of financial products are available nowadays. Provision of tax incentives in respect of investments in specified channels provided by government, right? So now government has given us lot many avenues wherein we can reduce the tax burden, right? So to reduce your tax burden, you have to choose a proper investment channel. And increasing tendency of people to hedge against inflation, that is protected by government. So government has released many bonds which are acting as hedge against inflation, right? So now if I am planning to buy something, right? So definitely the price will depend on the rate of inflation nowadays. So the 100 rupee, what is the value of 100 rupee today will not be the same maybe after 6 months. The value will be less. In that case, I will have to protect my money. So hedge my money against the inflation. So this is a basic thing that we have to understand, because I want to protect my money, the value of money. In that case, I will have to choose a certain kind of investment avenue which will hedge against the inflation rate. Availability of large and attractive investment alternatives developed in India. So now if we see the financial market is growing and developing, maybe in from last decade, there is a lot of growth and development that is happening in the financial market, right? So we have to take the utmost advantage, right, of the developed financial market. We have to understand what is primary market, what is secondary market, what is money market, and what are the various instruments are available, what are the various attractive investment opportunities are available for the public, then we have to choose wisely. Increase in investment related publicity in India. So now if we see the awareness regarding investment is rising, maybe among investors or maybe among general public, maybe the media has a role to play in that also. So increased awareness in investment is enabling financial market to function properly. The stock market is functioning, it is growing, okay, compared to last years. Okay, so now there is increased awareness among people. They are aware about choosing the right kind of company, right kind of instruments for their investments. Ability to invest to get income and capital gain. Now maybe because of, if economy is growing, definitely people will be having a good amount of disposable income. If you have a good amount of disposable income, definitely you want to look for a good investment avenue, right? So currently the Indian market is growing in terms of financial market, the stock market is growing, so people are aware about various financial markets and services available. Hence people should think about investing in the right avenue, the right channel. Next, after understanding the basics about the investment, we have to study what are the features of good investment, right? So if you want to invest your money in any stock or in any of the investment, okay, avenue, you have to decide, okay, what is a good investment, what are we expecting out of that investment. So here we can see the first one is what? Return. Definitely I want to invest in a company which is giving me a very good return, right? So the company should be able to give me my money back with some good return attached to it, right? This is what I look for. So if you are looking for a good return, choose your company wisely, right? You have to choose a company which is performing very good, okay, which is having a very good track record, which is having a very good history, and which is having a very able board of management, directors, and the brand image of the company, right? All these things are very important for you to decide or to choose a company for the investment. The company should be able to give you a very good return. Then the risk element, right? So what is a risk associated with your money? Definitely if I want to invest in a company, I want to see to it that my money is safe, right? I'm going to get back the amount whatever I have invested. So you have to calculate what is the risk that I'm taking. Okay, if you are investing in a completely new company, definitely you don't know anything about that company, you are taking a risk because the company has no history, right? The company is not so much known in the market, then the risk is very high. So better you have to study the company, industry and economy before investing in any of the company. For example, if the economy is doing good, definitely the companies will also be performing well, the sector will also be performing well, right? So if I want to invest in any of the sector, I have to study about the Indian economy, right? So what is the Indian economy right now? What is the situation or what is the status of the Indian economy? Whether it is doing good, whether recession is hit or whether inflation is hit, right? So what is the present situation of the economy? That will decide the performance of the companies, right? So for example, if recession is going on in the economy, what is happening? There is a fall in the demand, there is a fall in the price, right? So when there is a fall in the demand and price, the companies will not be able to perform better. Production will also be not very much. So definitely the economy is not much doing good in terms of the growth and development, right? So you have to study the economy, what is the present situation of the economy and how it is hitting particular sectors. Okay, we have financial sectors, we have IT sector, we have FMCG sector, we have pharmaceutical sector, right? You can decide your investment sector wise as well. Okay, you have to take up a particular sector, study how the sector is doing and take up your particular call on that. For example, now the COVID situation, certain sectors are doing very well. Okay, one good example is pharmaceutical sector, which is doing very good, right? Because for pharmaceutical sector, the demand will always be there. Right? So like that, you have to choose the sector based on the situation, right? So which particular situation is favoring which sector. Like that, you have to diversify your investment. Next, we have liquidity. What is the meaning of liquidity first of all, right? So liquidity is availability of cash as in when you want it, Okay, so that is liquidity. So when you want to go for any kind of investment, the first thing you have to check is what? Liquidity. So you have invested your money in a particular stock or in a particular avenue. If you want your money back, right, how easily you can convert that into cash? That is what is liquidity, right? So cash is the most liquid asset, right? So there are certain avenues. Okay, if you invest in a particular sector, maybe if the locking period is 3 years or 5 years, you can't take your investment back. In that, the liquidity is very less. Okay, it is less liquid. In that case, you are taking the risk. You can't meet your financial emergency, right? So your investment must be having this feature of liquidity, right? And hedge against inflation. As I was discussing before, first of all, why do I invest? I want to protect my money. I want to safeguard my future, right? So if your investment is covering, okay, yourself from the inflation, that is rise in the price, right? So if there is a rise in the price, your investment is giving you the return. So you are able to cope up with the rise in the price. You are able to match the rise in the price. That is the basic logic behind it, right? So choose an investment which acts as a hedge against the rise in the prices of the inflation. Next is safety. This is the basic thing. If I want to invest anywhere else, I want to see the safety of my money in terms of the company I have chosen, in terms of the stock what I have chosen, in terms of the particular financial instrument what I have chosen for the investment. I see the safety of my investment. Then objective fulfillment, right? So why do I invest in a particular segment or in a particular sector? Because I have certain objectives to be fulfilled, right? So if I am, okay, I have started my career now, definitely I want to secure my future. So now my objective is to maximize my income, right? So my objective is what? I want to maximize the return. I want to maximize my income. I am willing to take the risk because my objective is I want the maximum return. But a person is on the verge of retirement, right? In that case, his objective of investment would be entirely different. Why? Because he wants to invest to get a stable and steady income. He doesn't want high returns, right? But he wants a stable and regular income. In that case, his objective of investment is completely different, right? So few people, they just want to invest because they don't want to pay tax, right? Their objective of investment is different. So you will have to decide what is your objective of investment. Whether you want to just park your excess money in one investment avenue, or whether you really want your money to be growing, or whether you want a stable and steady income for your future. Based on that you can choose, and those options we have in the mutual funds. So if you choose mutual funds as investment, we have different objectives, okay, customized investment avenues in that. So you can choose any one according to your objective. Next one is tax shield. So as I was telling before also, we want to go for any kind of investment because I don't want to pay excess tax, or it acts as a tax shield, right? So in section 80C, we get a lot of exemptions, right, based on your investment, wherever you have invested. Then marketability. So if I have invested my money anywhere, so it should have the feature of marketability, means it should be easy for me to sell as and when I want, right? So choose a stock in such a manner it has the marketability with it, right? So sometimes what happens, we end up choosing a stock, right, and we see that there is no demand for a particular stock. Okay, if I want to sell that particular stock, I am not finding any buyer. In that case, what is happening? Definitely there is no marketability for that particular stock, right? So before going for investment or choosing your investment avenue, see to it that a particular stock has the marketability. There is a demand. Okay, there are certain buyers are there who are willing to buy that particular stock, right? Then capital growth. Right? So definitely your investment should enable you to grow your money. There should be some kind of a capital growth, right? And then stability of income. Right? So when you are going for investment, don't take too much of risk. Okay, don't put all your investment in one bracket itself. Right? So diversify your money. That is what we call as a portfolio. Right? You have to balance your money, choose your avenues in such a way that your income is stabilized. Right? So somewhere you are expecting higher return, but in one avenue you are seeing to it that your money is safe. Right? So diversifying your funds is very essential to safeguard your money and to stabilize your income. So now, these are the various investment alternatives that are available. These are the basic things, because when I decide to go for investment, I should know, right, what are the different alternatives that are available for the investment. So here we have real assets. In that real estate, you can go agricultural farm, you can go gold, property. Okay, you can invest. Okay, so definitely for property and gold, there is real estate, there is a capital appreciation. Okay, there will be a difference in buying and selling price, right? So definitely you can gain appreciation, capital appreciation is there. That is your real assets. Then going for other financial assets, we have marketable and non-marketable assets. Right? So here in the marketable assets, we can sell it to somebody else. Right? So we have equity shares of a company. So equity shares, okay, if you are willing to take higher risk by investing in good equity shares, return will also be more. Right? So equity shares, then we have preference shares, treasury bills, commercial papers, government securities and debentures. These are very common investment platforms where many people invest. These are tradable, marketable securities which are traded in the secondary market. Okay. And then we have non-marketable, that is bank deposits we have, right? If you don't want to take extra risk, the safest option is bank deposit. You can park your excess money in terms of deposits. We have national savings certificates, company deposits and employee provident fund. So these are the basic understandings of what are the different alternatives that are available for the investment. So this is a basic understanding of the present financial system, right? So anybody can understand this. Okay, it is not only for the financial specialized people or only for people who are working in the financial sector. This is a basic thing which everybody should know, which everybody should understand. Okay, so that is the structure of financial system. So now here we have financial institutions, financial markets, financial instruments and financial services. These four wings of finance you have to understand. These are the basic things. Okay, for anybody, whenever you are starting your career, right? So you have to understand this basic financial structure. So now here in the financial institutions, we have regulatory authorities, we have intermediaries like banking and non-banking, financial institutes, and we have others. This is the regulatory system. Okay. Next we have financial markets. In that we have organized market and unorganized market. Okay, so in unorganized market, a lot of money lenders are there. Okay, and who are unorganized, who are not coming under the formal structure of the financial system. Then we have organized market, right? So then we have primary market and secondary market, right? So if you want to invest in equity shares, or IPOs, then you can go for primary market, wherein when a new company wants to start, if it wants to raise the money from the public, it will call. Then in that case you can invest your money to this primary market. And the secondary market we have, that is stock market, right? If you want to buy and sell shares, on a continuous basis, you can participate in the secondary market, right? Where a lot of liquidity and marketability of securities are there in the secondary market. Then we have capital market and money market, right? If you are planning for long-term investment, then you can choose to be in capital market. But if you are maybe trading for less than 3 months or so, for a very shorter period of time, then you can go for money market. Then we have in the capital market, equity market, debt market and derivatives market. So that is depending on the choice of a particular investor. You can choose to be in any of these markets, right? And every market has a different kind of returns and risk associated with this. And also we have short-term, medium-term and long-term markets, right? So if you want to invest for a longer period of time, you can participate in the capital market, you can invest in equity shares, so which will give you a very good return. Then we have short-term markets, right? We have money market, right? So if you want to invest maybe for 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, something like that, you can participate in the money market. And also we have some medium-term also. If you want to invest for 1 to 2 years or 3 years, something like that, you can participate in the medium-term market as well. right? So this is a basic understanding of the financial system or the financial structure, how it works. And as a layman investor, you have to understand, right, which is more suitable for me and maybe for my present financial condition. Based on that, you can choose any of the market. So this is just an example, right? So what are the different instruments are available in the financial markets, right? So we have equity or ordinary shares, right? So when a company wants to start its new business, usually it raises a fund from the general public, okay, and in turn the company will issue some kind of equity shares, right? That happens in the IPO, initial public offering. So you can choose equity shares, but the thing is that higher the risk, higher the return. Risk element is also there, okay, for the equity shares. Then we have preference shares, industrial debentures or bonds, right? So which are very safe, which are having a very fixed interest, assured interest is there, right? But there is no growth in the money, right? Only assured income will be returned to you. Then we have government bonds. If you don't want to take any risk by investing in some private, okay, company, you can choose government bonds, which is also called as gilt-edged bonds. That is the safest option. Then we have national development bonds, Indira and Kisan Vikas Patra, national savings certificates, deposits with banking institutions. You can always park your money in any of the banking institutions. Insurance plans we have, right? Then certificate of deposits, commercial papers. These are all particular. These two are very for short-term period of investment. We have commercial bills. Again, it is a short-term investment. If you want to go, then call on notice money, trade credit, mortgages. Okay, so these are. We are having international investment. It is global depository receipts, foreign bonds, euro bonds, right? So all these are foreign investments if you want to go for. So these are some of the investment avenues are available, okay, depending on your choice of the investment. Okay, so now after knowing the instruments, which are the markets we are having, right? So we are having call money market, we have treasury bill market, we have commercial bill markets, government securities market. All these four categories are for short-term to medium-term investment. And then we have stock market, right? We have popular BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange, right? So here you can participate in the secondary market, you can study the company, you can study the sector, right? And you can study the particular instrument, which stock is profitable, which stock is not so profitable, okay? A lot of fluctuations are bound to happen, but thoroughly you have to understand the stock market for a proper investment decision. Then foreign exchange market we have, okay, if you want to invest in different currencies, right, you can participate in the foreign exchange market. Then over the counter exchange, okay, we have like BSE and NSE, we have other market, that is OTCR, then mortgage market, okay, LSE, derivatives market, bonds market and equities market. Right? So these are the basics of the different financial markets that are available. So now, after knowing the different investment avenues and different investment alternatives, right, we have to understand what are the benefits of your financial planning, right? So why do I have to plan, right? For example, as a student, you must be thinking, it is too early for me to plan for my finances, but you're wrong, right? So earlier you start about your investment, that is better, right? Because your risk-taking capacity is different at a different age group, right? So when you want to start your career or when you want to choose a professional course, you have to decide about your career, right? So where do you want to work, okay? Where you want to see yourself 5 years down the line, which sector you want to join, right? And how much, okay, I can earn from a particular chosen career, right? So which professional course is suitable for me, right? This is the right time for you to take all these decisions, right? So before taking all these decisions, you have to have a certain amount of financial knowledge, irrespective of the course which you choose. Ultimately, we have to plan our finances in the end, right? So for that, these are the basic things you have to understand about your personal finance. So why do I plan for my personal finance? It is evaluates your financial condition. So when you are categorizing your financial plan, you will get to know what is your financial condition, you will get to know what are the priorities. Okay, maybe right now for you the education is a priority, maybe after some time you want to buy certain asset, you want to buy certain, okay, maybe home, you want to buy a land, right? Are our priorities will be different at a different period of time. In that case, we have to decide about the current financial position, the current financial condition. Okay, what are the sources of inflow I'm having, and how much investment capacity I have, right? And how much financial needs, okay, will be arising in the future, right? So to balance all those things, okay, we need to have a proper financial plan. Then gives profits from investment plans. Right? So how we can grow our money? Okay, by investing in a proper channel, right? So I have certain disposable income, right? I have to decide whether I want to keep that money as it is, or I want to, okay, grow that money, right? In that case, if you want to see the growth in your money, in growth in your income, right? In that case, investment is must, right? So gives profits from investment plans because you earn some additional income out of your investment. Keeps you focused on your money goals. This is very important, right? You need to have a proper goal. Okay, so what you want to achieve, where you want to see yourself, right? So what is your income you are expecting from a particular chosen career, from a particular course, right? So decide, fix some money goals, right? So what is your, okay, what are the plans you have? Okay, maybe what are the investments you want to make? Based on that, you have to decide. Then organizes your spendings and savings. So if you have a proper financial goal in your mind, you can have a proper balance between spending and savings, right? How much you can spend, how much you can afford to spend, right? And how much savings you should be making, okay, to reach your goal, right? So my advice for your all students is, now only you start having your financial goals or money goals, right? So maybe 5 years down the line, where you want to see yourself, okay, what should be your financial condition, what assets you want to buy 5 years down the line. So if you start working towards it from right now, you will be able to balance your spending and savings. It makes you aware what is going on with your money. So if you have a proper financial goal, you will be aware about what is going on in your life. For example, if you are taking any educational loan, you know, right? So what is the loan you have taken, and what is the duration within which you have to repay. Okay, to repay that, okay, what are the sources of income you have to depend upon, you have to rely upon, and how you have to manage your spending and savings to achieve that particular goal, right? So it will give you a clear idea how to manage your money, and then gives you control over your money. So if you have a proper financial plan, you have a proper control over your money, right? You know the areas where you can spend, okay, you know the areas or avenues where you can save your money, okay? Helps in building a better future, okay? So financial planning is must if you want to have a secure future, right? So as we discussed in the previous slides also, why do I want to invest? Because I want to face uncertainties with confidence. We never know, okay, what the future holds. So we have to have, okay, a certain amount of money for the rainy day, and then enables you to produce extra money, right? So investment is an opportunity to grow your money, right? So choose an avenue which will help you to grow your money properly, right? So now the process, how this financial planning process begins, right? So the first thing starts with the established financial goals, right? To establish a financial goal, okay, you don't have to be necessarily, okay, working or a salaried person. Even if you are a student, you can have a financial goal, right? So the financial goal differs from person to person depending on the age, depending on the occupation he is in, right? So wherever you are, you have to have a proper financial goal, right? As I was telling you, minimum for next 5 years you should have your goal. So best thing is to jot down, write down what is your financial goal as a student or as a working class. Okay, you can decide on your goal and then gather data. So once you are very much clear in your mind what I want to do with my money, then accordingly you have to gather the data. So now gathering data is much more easier because of the availability of, okay, technology or internet facilities we have, right? You can get as much as possible information from the different sources, so you can gather the data. Okay, I had given you the glimpse how the financial system works, right? What are the different types of markets we are having. Based on that, you can go on gathering the data according to your requirement or according to your plan. Okay, then analyze the data. So once you gather the information, all the information may not be relevant to you, right? Analyze the data which is most relevant to you, the data which is not so relevant for you right now, okay, maybe for your present financial condition. So you have to analyze the data. Okay, for example, I have chosen a company for my investment. Okay, I have gathered the data, okay, for a proper investment. Now I want to analyze the data. I want to study in depth about the company, whether this company is suitable for me or not. Or if you want to invest in a mutual fund, right, as a student, you will gather the data about a particular sector and you will study about a particular mutual fund avenue, right? Whether this is the right time for you to invest or how much money you can invest, right? And how much return are you expecting from that particular investment, you are going to analyze the data. Then develop your financial plan. So once you analyze the data, now you are going to develop your financial plan. You want to segregate your income into different plans, right? Maybe you can build your portfolio if you are a working person, or if you are a student, you can choose, okay, a avenue which will give you a stable return, because now you can't take much risk because you don't have, okay, a assured source of income now, right? So depending on your occupation, you can develop your financial plan. Identify alternative courses of action, right? So we are to take a proper decision, okay, we have to analyze the different sources also. So what is decision making? I evaluate different alternative courses of action. Among them, I choose one which is best for me. Okay. So before taking any kind of decision, 2-3 options you should keep, right? So why option A is better than okay, B, C, D, E, other options? Why I'm choosing only option A? You should be able to justify yourself, right? So evaluate other available alternatives and choose one best course of action which is suitable for you, right? And when evaluate alternatives, then revise your plan, right? So evaluate your alternatives, okay, from different perspective, right? So the option whatever you have chosen is right for you, and then revise your plan from time to time. Especially when it comes to financial planning, no one best plan is the best plan. Okay, you have to go on revising your plan, maybe based on the situation. Okay, so now these are certain tips. Okay, some tips. Okay, for financial planning. The first one is start early. The earlier you start about your financial planning, that is better, right? So don't wait that you want to join a good company, at least you want to settle down for 5 years, then it will be too late for the investment, right? So if you want to invest or if you want to plan properly for your future, okay, you have to start early. And then make a good budget. Okay, you have to have a budget at place. Okay, so you have to have a record of your incomes, expenses, right? Your monthly budget, what are the sources of income available for you, and where are you spending, what are the different, okay, avenues where you are spending, which is avoidable expenses, which is unavoidable expenses. So make a priority list. So once you prepare a budget, you will be having a fair idea in your mind about your financial status. Then maintain a 5-year plan. This is very important, right? You'll have to maintain at least 5-year plan. Okay, go on revising every 5 years because your priorities will be different, right? So for the next 5 years, what do you want to achieve? Where you want to see yourself? How much savings you want to have? What are the different assets, okay, you want to invest in? So for next 5 years at least, you should be having a clear idea in your mind. Create an emergency fund, right? So always you should plan your finance in such a way that you have some kind of emergency fund, okay? Maybe insurance or maybe some medical emergency, whatever, you never know, right? So always have a secure money, right, which is secured and which you can, okay, withdraw anytime you want. Liquidity must be there for that. So create a room for your emergency fund. Then simplify your life, right? Have a clear goal, okay, what you want to achieve in your life, where you want to see yourself. Okay, you should be able to decide how you want to lead your life. Accordingly, you can plan your finance. Then save regularly, right? So irrespective of whether you're a student or a working class, right? So saving must be the top priority, right? So whatever the extra disposable income is there, you are going to invest, right? So maybe 10% you can save, maybe 5% you can invest, something like that. Okay, depending on your financial plan. Okay, so reasons why financial planning is gaining a lot of importance nowadays, or it has been always important for everybody. One is income. We always want to have a steady income for ourselves, right? We want to have income which is steadily coming in. Then cash flow, right? I want to have a proper cash flow, right? Because I want to be sure about the sources from where I am getting the cash flow. Then capital, because definitely I want to have some kind of capital assets. I want to invest in capital assets, right? That one thing. Then family security, right? We have to think about our family. We want to have some kind of financial security for ourselves and for our family as well. So first thing is that you have to decide upon your saving budget and the expenditure, and we want to have a secure future. The investment, right? So you have to decide about your investment. Different opportunities are there for your investment. Different avenues are there for you to grow your money, right? You have to think about your investment and standard of living. You have to decide about your standard of living, the way you want to lead your life, right? If you have certain goal in your mind, accordingly you have to plan your finance as well, right? Then financial understanding, right? So this is a basic financial literacy level that every one of us should have. Basic understanding about the financial market, basic understanding of the different instruments that are available in the financial market. The basic financial literacy is must nowadays. Then assets, right? So which are the assets you want to invest, real assets or in any other financial assets if you want to invest, right? So that you have to decide. Then savings, right? So how much savings, what is the proportion of amount that you want to put it in your savings, right? So all these aspects are very important before you decide upon your financial planning. So in light of all these factors, you have to plan your finance properly. Right, so what are the different investment factors that affect us? One is inflation, that I was telling you, rise in the price. So every year there is going to be rise in the price. Accordingly, we have to increase our income as well. Right? So that is a basic understanding. Next, retirement planning. So all of us will have to think about a future. Retirement planning. When I retire, I should be having some kind of inflow of income. Then dreams and goals. If you have any goals to achieve, right? So accordingly, you have to plan your finance. Maybe you want to go for higher education, you want to study abroad, right? So you have to plan your finance. You want to have a budget. So how much expenditure you are going to expect? What is the different sources of income you have to achieve your dreams or goals, right? So accordingly, you have to prepare your financial plan. Then asset classes, cash, debt investment, real assets and equity. So these are the different avenues of investment where you can invest considering these three factors. So here these are the simple investment options for students for you to understand. So liquidity, risk and return are the three fundamental things to understand before going for investment. I want to have a return, right? Good return. I want to minimize my risk and I want to have a liquidity, right? So these are the three prime focus before we go for any kind of investment. So here first one is cash we have. That is, liquidity is very high, risk is very low and returns are very low, right? So if you just keep cash as it is, the income will not grow, but the liquidity is very high in that case. Next option we have savings account. You can invest your money in the savings account. Liquidity is very high, right? Risk is zero, but returns are very less, because the return what we get in savings account is very less. We can't really grow our money. Then we have fixed deposits. The liquidity is medium because your money is locked in for a certain period of certain period. In that case, it is medium liquidity. Then risk is zero. Again, the returns are very less. Then we have health insurance. Your risk is zero, but returns are enormous. Actually, it is not an investment option, but still. Then we have stock market. Then here we can see liquidity is medium, depending on the choice of stock. You have chosen. And then risk is very high, but returns are also very high. Then we have mutual funds. So nowadays mutual funds are customized, like based on the objective of the investor. You can choose any kind of mutual funds. So here liquidity is medium to high, risk is medium, and returns are also medium. So this is how you have to analyze your investment plan. I have given some just basic okay, investment avenues, like that you can choose many investment avenues and you can analyze, right? So what is the liquidity, what is the risk, and what is the return, right? So whichever is most seems to be most appropriate for you, that investment you can choose. Okay, so this is how we can choose liquidity, risk, and return. Okay, which is giving you positive return, negative return, high return, low return, high risk, low risk, high liquidity, medium liquidity. Based on that you can choose. Right. So now I'm just giving you some basic understanding of your age-wise investment options. So in 20s, okay, 20s is the best time for you to go for investment. So if you are in your 20s, okay, you are capable of taking high risk, okay, especially if you have completed your studies and you have joined a good company and you are earning decently, then definitely you should think about your investment. So now here we can assume expenditure as E and age as X. So now here we can see, if you want to invest in equity, 100 minus X% is the basic formula, that is 100 minus 25%, okay, 25% you can invest in safe funds, okay, and 75% you can invest in stock market. Why? Because your risk taking ability is very high, okay, just you have started off your career, okay, and you don't have a lot of financial commitments in 20s, right? You are, okay, able to take a lot of risk. So it is advisable for you to go for risky investment in terms of equity, right? Because equities are capable of giving you high returns as well. So you should plan properly in your 20s and you are, okay, in a situation to take risk. And then debt, that is X, that is FD or bonds, which is giving you regular income, steady income, but the return is, okay, fixed. You are not able to get higher returns on that. So 25%, okay, you can go for fixed bonds and 75% you can go for risky assets. So this is how you should plan in your 20s. So if you are in your 30s, right, again, okay, equity 100 minus X5, debt, short-term investments. So still in 30s you are able to take risk depending on your financial commitments, depending on your family, okay, situation. So if your financial status permits you, you can go for risky assets as well. You can invest in equity as well, but short-term investment plan is also good, okay, if you want to go for debt class, right? So now if you are in your 40s, right, you can go for SIPs or retirement saving advisory, because this is a time when you have to start thinking about your retirement also, okay. A regular, okay, investment in certain kind of retirement plans is must when you enter your 40s, okay. You can go for SIP, okay, systematic investment plans, debt, 3-7 months salary as emergency funds, right? So once you are into your 40s, you can park your money, okay, 3 to 7 months salary as emergency fund, okay, maybe for medical issues or maybe for unknown reasons. You should be having some kind of emergency funds, okay. Life insurance policy is also okay. Then your 50s, okay, if you are into your 50s, okay, you can go for equity, low risk, large cap investment. Now at 50s you can't take risk, okay, equity is not much advisable for you. Then debt, 6 months salary as emergency funds. So in your 50s, make sure that you are investing at least 5 months of salary into emergency funds, okay, which is having a lot of high amount of liquidity and marketability. Then equity is less preferred at this point, right? I hope this has clarified, okay, about the financial understanding, financial markets, and you got an idea why it is so important for you to start early, okay. So based on the age, okay, our investment capacity differs from time to time, right? Our investment capacity differs. So you need to have this basic financial understanding, okay, what is the right time to invest, how to invest, when to invest, and how much I should be able to invest. Before that, you should be able to have a basic understanding of the financial market. Okay, so I hope this clarifies, right, what the basic financial fundas or the jargons which every one of us should know. Thank you, and see you soon at MBA Chennai.